All right, a very good evening to you. Special thanks for joining us tonight, the 14th day of December 2024. Hope you had a fantastic day, just as I did. And once again, welcome to KUTV Weekend Live on this day. Time to bring you apace and candid with the latest making headlines in the world of news. We begin tonight with the highlights. Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority announces a reduction in fuel prices ahead of December festivities. Court orders ignored, agreements violated and respect lost, KMPDU says ahead of looming strike starting next week. Raila vows to secure 2 seats in the United Nations Security Council with a permanent representation for Africa. Another case of Mpox reported in Mombasa County within the last 24 hours, bringing total number to 29.
This is Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
Alright, and that's in order. Remember, we'd love to hear your comments, your feedback, or your suggestions, where this broadcast is coming to you live on our YouTube platform at KUTV News Kenya, or even this broadcast coming to you live on X at KUTV_Kenya, or even at Theo_Macharia. Remember, the hashtag to use tonight is Weekend Live, and our sign language expert for tonight is Lucy Kiarie. And together, let's begin. Now, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, has announced a reduction in the fuel prices of super petrol, kerosene and diesel in its latest fuel review. In its announcement, the regulator announced that the maximum allowed petroleum pump prices for super petrol, diesel and kerosene decreased by 4.37 shillings per litre and 3 shillings per litre for both kerosene and diesel respectively. Now, what this means is that petrol will retail at 176.29 shillings, diesel at 165.06 shillings and kerosene at 148.3 shillings per litre. A spot check by experts states that this is the lowest pump price in nearly 2 years. EPRA noted that the calculated maximum retail prices for petroleum products will be in force from Sunday, December 15th to January 14th, 2025. And court orders ignored, agreements violated and respect has been lost, says the Kenyan Medical Practitioners and Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU. The union has announced a return to the streets protest through a strike scheduled for next week on December 22nd, after suspending a strike earlier in May this year. This announcement was made earlier today in a press statement to the media during a meeting with doctors in Kakamega County. Through their Secretary General Davji Atela, KMPDU has accused the government of lacking trust and respect, citing its failure to adhere to court orders and the regulations for returning to work formula. They also criticized the government for failing to honor the terms of the collective bargaining agreement, CBA.
So we are reinstating that the rallying call for the strike of next week, the 22nd of December 2024, is on. And we are telling national government, we are telling county government that we have no time for boardrooms. We have no time for negotiation, Because we negotiated in 2023. We negotiated in 2024 during the 56-day strike. We have negotiated between May and now December. This is time of action, that we will leave our workstations and we will only come back when we see those letters of promotion. We will only come back when we see the money in our account, because it has to be paid. We will only get back to work when the interns are paid as per the CBA.
Doctors cannot wait any longer for the return to work formula that we've signed with the government to be implemented. We have met here with doctors, from senior consultants to the junior doctors, and they are all condemning the pay cut that has been done by the government for the interns. The senior consultants in Kakamega County are condemning strongly the non-implemented promotions that are the stalled promotions that are there in this county.
Former Kenyan Prime Minister and African Union Commission AUC Chairman candidate Raila Odinga has asserted that his agenda for the African continent has become even clearer after the Mjadala Africa debate for the African Union Commission chairmanship held yesterday in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Raila plans to improve Africa's infrastructure and advocate for the continent to secure 2 seats in the United Nations Security Council with a permanent representation for Africa, complete with veto powers.
3 esteemed candidates, each vying for the position of chairperson of the African Union, will debate tonight.
Following the AUC chairmanship candidates debate, the former Kenyan Prime Minister's strategy for leading Africa has become even more clear.
Ambassadors, fellow Africans, ladies and gentlemen.
Raila debated against fellow candidates Mahmoud Ali Yusuf from Djibouti and Richard Randriamandrato from Madagascar during the debate in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. His determination and readiness to lead the AUC were on full display.
I have also been a public servant. I've been a member of parliament. I've also been a prime minister and also leader of opposition. In those capacities, I've tried to do my best and I've gained a lot of experience.
Raila, who captivated many online with his diplomatic approach, outlined his agenda for transforming Africa. One of his key plans is to enhance the continent's infrastructure to facilitate easier trade among African nations.
Mozambique to Lobito in Angola and Walvis Bay in Namibia. Then you have got the Lapset, which will come from Lamu in Kenya, running through South Sudan, Central Africa to Caribbean Cameroon, to create a land bridge that opens the interior of Africa and gives these landlocked countries in the continent access to the sea.
Odinga also has a sustainable plan to resolve ongoing conflicts in Africa, including those in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, and other nations. He is committed to using dialogue to address conflicts in the African nations.
We need to find a way of creating an environment of dialogue within our societies so that we can be able to prevent these differences, conflict ending up into violent confrontation between the various groups.
Raila further wants to push for Africa to get 2 permanent seats on the United Nations Security Council if elected.
But we're going to insist that Africa must get 2 permanent seats in the UN Security Council.
Raila also has a plan for Africa's Gen Z. He acknowledges the importance of the youth as a cornerstone for the continent's success in competing with other regions globally.
The artificial intelligence and information technology, we can be able to give this youth opportunity to work anywhere in the world when they're staying here on the continent. This is something that we are going to address, empowerment of the African youth.
As the race for the AUC chairmanship intensifies, Kenya's candidate Raila Odinga stands out as one of the top contenders widely regarded across Africa to clinch the seat. Caroline Kimwele for KUTV.
All right, that story was pieced together by Blue Smile Hassan and voiced by Caroline Kimwele. Let's now proceed where the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has recovered a prime government plot worth 30 million, which had been illegally and corruptly excised from public land adjacent to State House, Mombasa, by one Edward Mwangi Irungu, then district officer in Mombasa, in collision with the 10th Commissioner of Lands Wilson Gashanja. Judge Nelly Matheka of the Mombasa Environment Lands Court, in a ruling delivered on December 11, nullified all the transactions leading to the grabbing of the land and ordered that the property be reverted back to the government. EACC investigations established that after illegally and corruptly acquiring the public land, the DC sold it to Minalove Hotel and Restaurant Limited, which used the title to secure a loan facility at Equity Bank. Further, Justice Matheka ordered the suspects to pay 5 million shillings for wrongful interference with public land in an irregular, illegal and fraudulent manner. All right, and President William Ruto led the Kenyan Navy in commemorating 60 years since its establishment in a ceremony held at the Kenyan Navy base in Mtongwe, Mombasa County. The celebrations that featured impressive military displays and the launch of an official commemorative book documenting the Navy's 60-year history saw President Ruto commit to modernizing the military.
President William Ruto arrived at the Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County in his official ceremonial vehicle, accompanied by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, and the Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya. Military displays were the highlight of the event, showcasing the Kenya Navy's expertise in combat. In an awe-inspiring demonstration, Navy soldiers parachuted from the skies and landed in the ocean, simulating a combat scenario.
Mheshimiwa Rais, huyu anafahamika kama Senior Sergeant John Kibe, akishuka kwa utaratibu ikiwa amenyoosha miguu yake.
After the maritime displays, the official commemorative book celebrating 60 years of the Navy was unveiled. The event also saw the honoring of the Kenya Navy's first generals and commanders. President William Ruto lauded the Kenya Navy for their excellent work in safeguarding the nation's coastline and for their success in military operations like Operation Exodus, Operation Mamba, Operation Sledgehammer in Kismayu, among others.
Participated in important national and international peace missions and major operations, such as the Operation Exodus, Operation Mamba, Operation Linda Nchi, including the amphibious landing in Kismayu under the Operation Sledgehammer, which liberated Kismayu City. In this and many other anti-piracy operations in the Indian Ocean, the Kenya Navy has been consistent and effective, critical actors of its success.
President Ruto stated that the government is now ready to provide the country's defense forces with modern resources, fulfilling the vision of former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
I can now confirm that we are ready and in a place where we can deploy resources in the modernization of not just our police, but much more importantly, our military.
The celebrations in Mombasa also saw the honoring of the Navy officers who lost their lives in the line of duty while protecting the nation. Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.
All right, many thanks, Blue Smile Hassan, for that comprehensive report. Now it's 15 minutes past the top of the hour. Time for us to take our very fast, short commercial break right here on KUTV Weekend Live. See you on the other side with more top stories. Keep interacting with us on our social media platforms.
ndiye Yesu Bwana, wote waingie kwake. Lango, 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 hili lango li wazi. I am right here for your sake. Now, today we are going to talk about the beginning of a fall. But not just a fall, it is a fall never to recover. If you spend your time sleeping, na tumesema while you are drunk, your senses are sleeping. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. How are you doing today? I'm well in the Lord. I hope you are well in the Lord. First of all, I'd like to thank our Father in heaven. They say broken things can't be fixed, right? But that's a lie. Genesis chapter 3 verses 8. That evening they heard the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid from him among the trees. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Catch me right here only on KUTV every single Sunday.
Are you healthy, or rather, do you maintain a healthy lifestyle? According to WHO, health is regarded as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. Welcome to Focus on Health, a show on all matters health, wellness, and lifestyle. On this show, we cover a wide variety of topics inclusive of, but not limited to, dental, optical, mental, reproductive health, and so much more. Join me, Joy Bofenda, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on KUTV for compelling insights and discussions on all matters health. See you then.
Focus on Health, your weekly dose of health and wealth information on KUTV.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being.
Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses, and we wait until we get a disease, and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that could be, that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimoma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
You are watching Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
Indeed, welcome back to KUTV Weekend Live tonight, the 14th day of December. Let's continue bringing you our pace and candid with the latest shaping your world of news. Now, another case of monkeypox has been reported in Mombasa County within the last 24 hours, where a total of 29 cases have been reported across the country. A total of 18 people have received treatment and discharged, while 10 others are still undergoing treatment. Speaking in Kirinyaga County, the Principal Secretary for Public Health, Mary Muthoni, confirmed the case, assuring Kenyans that the government has strengthened border surveillance and is screening everyone entering the country. However, she called on Kenyans to remain vigilant and report any suspicious cases to prevent further spread of the mpox virus, especially during the festive season.
Our National Public Health Lab has received a total number of 328 samples, and out of this, the 8.8% represents the 29 that have been taken as positive. I know we have had one death earlier, and the total contacts that have been listed. Have been able to screen 15,865 travelers, because we must have everybody screened at the border, and especially during this Christmas season. Remember, this disease is passed on from one person to the other through contact, body contact. Therefore, it is important that you avoid sharing personal items like clothes or bathing towels. It is important to note that the people who are getting this disease mostly probably, and if you look at the counties that have this disease, are actually along the highways because of the long distance truck drivers, sometimes coming from different countries.
Right, let's cross the borders just a little bit. Snake bites are classified as a neglected tropical disease by the World Health Organization. In South Africa and other countries in the region, there are numerous barriers to getting the anti-venom necessary to save limbs and lives, but scientists are working to make anti-venom cheaper, safer, and easier to produce. This story coming to you courtesy of VOA.
It's summer in southern Africa. That means snakebite season. Saka von Veek from the African Snakebite Institute conducts trainings like this one on how to handle venomous snakes, like these cobras.
They get more active, they start moving around, and we do see an increased number of bites as it starts warming up.
In southern Africa, it's hard to find trustworthy statistics on the number of bites and deaths annually due to a lack of reporting.
One of the things about rural communities, and particularly people who can't afford modern medical care, is that their first port of call is not the doctor's surgery, but the traditional healer. And so those cases never get collected by health statisticians anyway.
Even if people don't die, snake bites can leave them with permanent disabilities because they cause tissue damage.
Either they lose a lot of function in the limbs, for instance legs, they can't walk, they lose a lot of muscle tissue in their arms, they can't farm or they can't work, they can't provide for their families.
But even when people do manage to get from the rural areas to a hospital in time, there are challenges. Anti-venom can cost thousands of dollars. Sometimes there are shortages because of low levels of production. It's been made the same way for over a century. Horses are injected with small amounts of venom. Then their blood plasma, which has produced immunity, is made into an anti-venom product that is injected into snakebite victims. But there are dangers that come with it, including allergic reactions and possible anaphylactic shock.
Somebody has to be standing by with accessory medicines like adrenaline or something to make sure that you survive the treatment.
Kurt Wibmer is a South African scientist who is researching a new, more modern way of creating antivenom.
So what we do is we go to those same producers of antivenom into the horses and look for the bits of DNA that can make these super antibodies, these super antivenom products. And then we take those DNA and we clone them in the lab and we then improve them.
Without the horses, the product is safer and more uniform. It will take many years to go from the lab to the clinic, but Wibmer expects the antivenom would cost only a fraction of the price. Kate Bartlett, VOA News, Johannesburg, South Africa.
All right, that story from VOA brings us once again to our second short commercial breather right here on KUTV Weekend Live. See you on the other side. Coming up are sports stories. Don't go too far.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies, and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako na kataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwe.
Right, let's now dive into the world of sports, where today's Kenya Premier League matches, Gor Mahia suffered a 1-0 loss to Kenya Police at the Police Circle Stadium. Nairobi City Stars and FC Talanta settled for a 1-1 draw at the Kenyatta Stadium. Now, similarly, Kakamega Homeboys and Ulinzi Stars also drew at 1-1 at the Mumias Stadium. Additionally, Mara Sugar edged out Kariobangi Sharks with a narrow 1-0 victory at the Raila Odinga Stadium. And in the English Premier League, Everton held Mikel Arteta's Arsenal to a 1-1 draw With the English Premier League leaders, Liverpool also drawing 2-2 with Fulham. Newcastle thrashed Leicester City 4-0 as Ipswich Town outmatched Wolves with a 2-1 victory. More action from the English Premier League will be coming up tomorrow during the Manchester Derby at Etihad Stadium. Southampton will be facing Tottenham as Hotspur's Chelsea play Brentford at the Stamford Bridge. All right, that's it for today's KUTV Weekend Live, the 14th day of December 2024. We've come to the end of the broadcast. I hope you are adequately informed. Now, many thanks to you, our dear viewer, for keeping us company for the last 30 minutes or so. We do this again next Saturday, same time, same place. Remember, these are the festive season, or this is the festive season. Do not engage yourself in harmful activities that may cause you not cross over to 2025, especially drinking and driving. Please avoid. All right, many thanks to the entire crew of this production that made this news broadcast a success. The man on my ears, or my director, Kimani James Baraka, many thanks. On the graphics was Eric Mshila, and also our sound engineer here in studio, Ismail Akunda. Many thanks for making this broadcast a success, and also this brilliant lady who ensured this broadcast is coming to you live on our social media platforms. That is Brina Mukami. Many thanks for making this broadcast a success. Not forgetting our sign language interpreter for tonight, Lucy Kiarie. And my name is Theo Macharia. As I've said earlier, let's do this again, same time, same place. Good night, keep safe, and God bless.